Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we're having a whole lot of fun in this series. We're doing 20 appliques of things that you might find in your sewing room. So we've already started. We're up to applique number 6 already, so we've got the first 5 up here on our little sewing room gallery. And this time we're just coming along this row here, we're doing this rotary cutter. So I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun. There are patterns available through GourmetQuilter.com. If you order the pattern, it comes as a downloadable pattern each day for 20 days, and we're on day 6 at the moment. And so everything comes ready for tracing. There's a little diagram of the applique that we're doing, and all the pieces are numbered. That gives you some indication of placement. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this done. So what I've got here is I've cut out my pieces already with fusible web on the back. I'm using fusible web to hold everything in place, and I just did a very light finger press mark down the center of the block there, because I want to place this just off center, because this little rotary cutter's got a little dangly that hangs off the bottom, a little bit like mine, but nicer than mine. I have a rotary cutter with a dangly, but the one we're doing has beads on it, and mine just has a little raggy bit of fabric. I need to update my little dangly. So what I wanted to do was place the edge of the cutter along that center fold line. So we're not placing that in the center, we're placing the edge on the center so that there's room for this dangly to come across. So then we've got the little sort of dark part that goes behind our blade that we use to keep our blades safe. So that can go on top next. Then we've got the blade, and that can sit on top there. And then there's the little center piece that screws through to hold everything in place. That can go on there. And then we've got this fun bit down the bottom here. So we've got these little dangly bits. So this is like a little piece of ribbon, perhaps, and I'll just peel the paper off the back. So the idea here is that it should look like it's being tied through the hole that we cut when we cut that out. So we want the ribbon bit to overlap, and this other piece can sit behind so that it looks like it's going all the way through. And it's looking pretty good. And then we've got these beads to put on it as well. So, and we've just got to keep an eye, because we're getting fairly close to the edge here, and we've got 2 little beads to go there as well. So we've just got to make sure we've got room for everything here. And I think we're just going to make it. We might bring this bead over a touch and this over a touch. So make sure that it's within your seam allowance if you're going to use it to go into something. And then these little beads can just sit over the edge of the bigger bead like that, so that everything fits quite nicely, looks quite fun. And I think that's looking pretty good for our block. This would make a great little zipper pouch. You could keep your rotary cutter in it, or a block in a quilt. So I'll go ahead now, because I'm free motioning, and put my stabilizer behind. I'm just using a lightweight cotton batting because of the free motion stitching. Needs to have a stabilizer. And I just iron it. It's not fusible, I just iron it because it just holds together quite nicely when it's small pieces like this for the applique. And now I can go to the machine and we can start free motioning. So what I'm thinking is that maybe I'll do this twiddly bead part at the bottom first. So I'm going to start here so that I come around and do this darker little bit of ribbon first. And I'm just going to come across, and I'm just going to go up and back on that. And then I can come around this bead while I'm here. And then I'm going to come up and do this piece of red ribbon and just snip my thread. That looks like it's coming through that hole there. And then I'm going to come around on that bead again, and then I can get onto this nice bright bead here. And I'm going to go all the way around the little red bead and onto this piece of ribbon that's dangling at the ends. So whilst it looks a little fiddly, if you free motion it, it's really not so bad. If you don't want to free motion, it just takes a little bit more time to get around everything, but entirely possible. So now I'm back on this bead, and here we are, pretty much back where we started, but we can actually skip up here and get onto the yellow of the cutter here and come all the way around and keep going up here. So I think that's all looking pretty good. We've got to get round all these circles for the blade as well. So we could come onto this darker piece now and come all the way around that, and we are going to have to stop and start at some stage. Around this. And we might just do a line across there. There would be a little ridge across there. And we're back where we started on that darker bit. So I think I'll just stop there and take that out and have a little look. So we've got to go around that inner circle at some stage, and we've got to come up the other side. We've got to go around the blades. So I think I'm going to do the little inner circle next. Just finishes that little bit off. And then we've got to come up the other side there and go around. So I might do a little bit more of this straighter work and show you when I'm doing some work on the circles there. So I'm just on the circle of the blade at the moment, just about done. And finish that. Oops. Finish that one off, and then we'll do the center circle as well while we're here, and then that'll be this rotary cutter all done. Just finish that off. So that's looking pretty good. And I'll just give it a quick press, and then we can pop it up on the sewing room gallery up behind me. It's growing. Getting lots of good things in our sewing room. So that one I have set off, but that's because we've got that little detail coming across there. So I think that's all looking pretty good. So that was applique number 6 for the sewing room. I will see you again with applique number 7 for the sewing room.